So today we are making vinegaroon. It has some other common names such as vinegar black, or sometimes known by its technical name, its chemistry name, an iron acetate solution. It is traditionally used to dye saddles, boots, and straps a deep black without the need for expensive imported dyes. This dye has been around for centuries, and it was used in Europe and early America. It is traditionally used to age oak wood, walnut, and cherry, giving them an antique look. However, you can use it with any wood and any leather you want. It should work fine. Now, the chemistry. Steel wool is mostly iron, and vinegar is an acetate acid. When combined together, the acid reacts with the iron to form iron 2 acetate, and this will release hydrogen gas, which is why we are not going to seal the jar for our solution. I will put a simplified reaction on the screen. Leather and many woods contain tannin, which iron 2 acetate will bind to create a ferric tannate, a dark black compound. Over time, our iron solution will oxidize, creating iron 3, which will deepen the solution. So basically, over time, your dye will get darker. If you want it lighter, use it quicker, I guess. Here are some key notes. This dye is a chemical reaction inside the material, so it is permanent and not just a surface stain. Obviously, this solution is acidic, and when used with leather, it needs to be neutralized afterward to prevent damage, because if you mix too much vinegar or too much of the iron, it can dry out your leather. So my recommendation would to use a baking soda wash. So put some water and some baking soda, and then put that on after you put on the our dye, to make sure it doesn't dry up. Also, it's vinegar and acid, so it's going to smell not great. So you might want to neutralize it first with the solution I just mentioned. Okay, now the setup. You don't need a precise ratio, but this is what I am using. Here, now the setup. You don't need a precise ratio, but this is what I am using. I am using 2.5 cups of distilled white vinegar, 5%, because obviously we need that acid. Perfect. Now we are going to, close this. Now we are going to need our stainless steel scouring pad. I will show specifically what product I'm using. Something to note, do not use stainless steel wool because it will not react correctly. Please get normal steel because we need iron 3, and I'm pretty sure it will not work otherwise if you get the stainless steel. So we're just going to tear up our scouring pad. It was a bit difficult. I should have cut it. But we're doing this. We're doing it like this. We need some strength. Because we're going to need some more surface area so that it can react better. Also, I would recommend keep having a ventilated space while doing this, because vinegar and fine steel wool is not something you want to be breathing. So please keep the area well ventilated while you're doing this. Perfect. Again, you don't want to be inhaling the dust from the scouring pad. That wouldn't be great. I'm just going to put that in here. Now we are going to put our solution. 2.5 cups of distilled white vinegar. Perfect. We're going to stir it just a bit so that completely saturated. And then now we're going to seal the jar loosely. Just put it on top so that the hydrogen gas can escape. And that's how you make vinegaroon. I am going to be testing out my new dye on pieces of wood, and we're going to see how this reacts with materials. We're gonna test some leather, and we're going to test some wood, and we're going to see how it goes. So thank you for watching.